Non-profit organization against men abuse, which is Men For Real, say the country is not doing enough to protect men who are victims of domestic abuse and gender-based violence. The organization says a high number of male victims of abuse in the country commit suicide or end up developing anger that leads them to committing violent crimes, including murder. South Africa is counted among the worst countries in the world when it comes to domestic violence and gender-based violence. Our reporter, Sellwane Khakhau, has more.
Gender-based violence, one of the leading scourges that the country is fighting. Men say most initiatives of gender-based violence only focus on protecting women, leaving male victims helpless.
Most men are being abused even verbally. Most men are being beaten up in the houses, but they're closing up, they don't speak out. Do not allow yourself to bottle in and you end up committing suicide. You end up, killing people that you're not supposed to kill. Most men right now, they are closed in jail and they're not supposed to be there. Our brothers are in jail. Our men who are supposed to be outside are in jail right now. But they became perpetrators. Before they were perpetrators, they were victims themselves.
Male victims say on many occasions they are not taken seriously at police stations when they report the abuse. One of them is 56-year-old father of four, Jan Nkosi. Nkosi says he was a victim of domestic abuse for 7 years. On numerous occasions, when he tried to report cases, he was not helped. His abuser, on the other hand, would often report a false case and he would be arrested.
I was locked up at Mabatu police station for 3 weeks. In that cell, there were other men with the same similar problem that I have. All of us were talking of our children and our women that are abusing us in our houses. But we, when we go there, we are not taken serious because at some point when my case was discharged, I went there, it was not taken seriously. The only time they took me seriously is when I talked to the superintendent to tell him that, look, I've got rights also. I can make a statement, I can open a case. That is when now I got a protection order against her.
Another victim, a 47-year-old father of three, Kuos Marekwa. His story is similar to Nkosi's.
Abuse. My ex-wife then started falsely accusing me of raping and physically assaulting her. Yet, I have never laid a hand on her. That's when I realized that my life was at risk because I'll end up in jail for things I never did. I now have a protection order against her because I realized that my life is at risk because she calls me even at night to come fetch our child. I did it for my safety.
The Department of Correctional Services says they have programs for inmates to open up and get help.
We do have programs designed at certain individual crimes for sexual offense, for murder. We do have anger management, and we also have these programs are categorized by therapeutic and non-therapeutic. Therapeutic programs are those offered by social workers and psychologists, and non-therapeutic ones are offered by correctional officials.
Men are pleading for platforms where they can open up and be protected. They are also pleading with the police to thoroughly investigate allegations of abuse before making arrests. Sellwane Khakhau, SABC News, Mahikeng.
All right, we take the story further now and stay there in Mahikeng. We go to Mompoloki Tsie. He's the Secretary for Men For Real. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Tsie. Thank you so much for joining us here on the SABC News channel. Let's just start by getting an understanding on what Men For Real is all about and what the organization do.
Thank you very much for hosting us as Men For Real. We are an NPO.
For real, we are an NPO that is based here in Mahikeng, and we are dealing with issues that are affecting men. We have seen cases where most men are jailed, most men are in the streets, most men, they are running, some of them are running into the cattle post, some of them are running into drinking heavily, where they're even losing their families because of the abuse that is taking place around our community. We believe, as Men For Real, that the boy child, men are neglected so much. Even the policies that are being made by the government are leaving men behind. Today we are talking about abuse against women and children. We are leaving men behind. Why are we not saying, abuse against men, children, and women also? This is what Men For Real is all about.
Since this organization, your NPO, came into being, have you had men coming out to the organization, perhaps seeking help? Because we understand that men are very much unlikely to come out and speak out about their problems.
Every day we receive calls. Some of them we can't reach them because they are far. Every day men come into our offices looking for help. Young boys come into our offices looking for help. Most boys that are in the streets were not treated well. Some of them that are coming from good families where they've got everything, but because the way they were treated, they were not treated equal like their sisters are treated in their families. So we believe that we have to change the way we treat men.
All right. So when they come to your offices and when they call your NPO, what then happens? What kind of assistance does your organization provide to men in need?
We do have social workers that are working for the organization. We do have pastors that are counseling these men. It's only that sometimes the resources limit us to reach out to them. If you look at the numbers of men that are coming into our offices, if we had resources, we are going to reach more men out there. And Men For Real is a district forum around in our province, and we've got offices all around. We want to reach all men in the villages, in the towns around Mahikeng. We want to accommodate them. We want to see this man not committing suicide, not doing what they are doing right now.
But I think what's even more worrying is the fact that it's always been like that when men cry out, they are said to be very weak. Why have we not gone beyond this particular notion? Why are we a nation that's not understanding that it is okay for men to cry, it is okay for men to seek help?
There is a saying that says, Indoda Aikali, and that is a painful saying. Right now, in our nation, South Africa, there was once a leader who once said, meaning that we are having a problem. Men, naturally, they don't talk. When they talk through their physique because God given them this physique to respond. They will end up beating or killing or doing whatever that they are doing. That's why today there's so much killings that is happening in our country, is because we have left men behind. And I'm saying, let us, as much as we are empowering women, can we empower this man also? Can we empower the boy child also? There is a program, my sister, which says take a girl child to the workplace. And that program, we are against that program with all cost, because we believe that we are neglecting a boy child. When you neglect a boy child, the boy child will end up doing evil things.
All right, but I think the question is, so what conversations are you driving as an organization as you say that a boy child and men have been neglected, whereas they also suffer gender-based violence? What conversations are you driving as Men For Real?
Men For Real, we do have programs. Our primary programs, there's a program that we call it Maremogolo, the program of old men that comes into our offices, and they talk about issues. We do have a program of young people, those who are still at school, and they do come to our offices also, where we teach them. We do have motivational speakers. We do have professionals that comes into our center to come and teach these young people, to say to them, these are your sisters. This is not supposed to be done. Do 1, 2, 3. Don't do 1, 2, 3.
All right, time constraints. Mr. Tsie, we'll leave it at that. Many thanks for coming through. Mompoloki Tsie is the Secretary for Men For Real, talking to us live from Mahikeng in the Northwest Province. We take a quick break here on SA Today. They still